Well, I kind of had to, go a roundabout way of ultimately getting here to Nebraska. When I started my senior year, I was 16 years old for the first few months, and most of the guys in my grade were 17. Some were turning 18, so I was young. But by the end of that senior year in New Jersey, there was Nebraska had some interest. They wanted me to walk on. University of Miami and they kind of were the same. And there were a couple other schools that kind of came in late. But it was actually a coach from the University of Miami who said, hey, there's this school up in Connecticut where as long as Jason doesn't graduate from, his high school in New Jersey, he can repeat his senior year up there. So for the second half of my senior year in New Jersey, I wasn't going to class because I needed to fail.
Roundabout way of getting there.
Now, the funny thing is, though,
Mom and Dad were thrilled with this strategy.
At that point, not everyone was on board, but at that point, I'm trying to fail, and all the teachers want to do is fucking pass me.
Because they wanted you out of their school.
Probably.
They said, we can't take another year of this guy.
Some, they didn't agree with it, blah, blah, blah. And, but ultimately, I don't graduate, so I'm able to repeat my senior year up at this prep school in Connecticut. And, after that football season, life was different then. There was pretty much everybody out there was offering scholarships, and but it took for me, not knowing a ton about college football, I looked at kind of who had won national championships in recent years, and that's kind of how I formed some of my recruiting trips. Now, there were two schools that were looking like they were going to go on probation with University of Miami and Washington, so that kind of eliminated two. And then me waking up, I guess, in my brother's bathtub on my recruiting trip was just enough to sell me on Nebraska. That's all I needed.
So let's walk through that recruiting
trip. They treat you great at Nebraska. No.
Let's start at the beginning and don't leave anything out. What was that official visit
I don't know if I could tell that story, but yeah.
After 10 o'clock, you can tell that story.
You get all these nice hotel rooms and everything, and I thought the best place for me was the bathtub.